So I came across this video, and the Democrats were talking about how Trump was now a racist for making certain comments about black people. And I thought the video was kind of interesting. And I was looking at it, and I thought I wanted to give my little take on this thing. Let's take a watch of what Mr. Trump has to say.
I got indicted a second time and a third time and a fourth time. And a lot of people said that that's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against. And they actually viewed me as I'm being discriminated against.
Well, let me just say that's not why we like you. You know, we're sympathetic towards you. You know, we're human beings. We have a heart. That's how we were made. You know, we see that, you know, you're suffering an injustice, and whether it be black person, white person, whoever it is that's being ran through the mud from the court systems, you know, we're sympathetic to that because it's something that we've always experienced. It's not going to make us like you. You know, we just kind of we feel your pain a little bit. But let's continue.
Also in the mugshot. And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot.
Again, it's not because, you know, we're big fans of yours. You know, we just kind of, you know, we can relate. But let's finish.
All right, that was just ahead of the South Carolina primary. He was talking to a conservative black group on Friday night. The left immediately branded Trump a racist for those comments.
So you think he's Biggie Smalls?
Kind of zesty there, right?
What we just heard is so unbelievably racist, but also problematic for a democracy.
This is about the future. And what Donald Trump said was racist tropes. And
you know, what I see becoming a problem is, you know, first thing is the word racist is being thrown around so loosely. It's going to come a time, and that time is coming real quick, where, you know, if we don't stop all of this foolishness, everything is racism. Now, I believe, I'm not naive. I know racism exists. I experienced it in my lifetime over, you know, a few occasions. But, you know, the way these politicians are throwing it around, you know, people are suffering racism. And because of the way they're throwing these comments around, you know, people who really have bad experiences, you know, it's going to kill their voice. Because people are going to look at it as, you know, it's just another boy or girl crying wolf. And I think they need to cut that crap out.
it's insulting and demeaning to basically go to black people and say, oh, don't you like the fact that I have 91 convictions?
First of all, he didn't say that. And second of all, it's not insulting and demeaning. He's saying what he's experiencing. That's not insulting to us and demeaning to us. He's just talking about what happened to him and how we can relate to it. So, you know, cut out the foolery.
Don't you want to see this mug shot?
So he's running on racism and revenge.
And the Democrats are running on, oh, we need to fear Trump. He's a threat to democracy. I mean, he was president already and, you know, everything was all right.
Is that a winning platform, or have most people started to get numb to what's coming out of his mouth?
Craig Scott might have a different view. He got convicted of bank robbery during his time as a black militant in the 1990s. Last year wrote a Newsweek op-ed about his support for Donald Trump. Craig, there it is. Trump released me from prison under the First Step Act. He has even more street cred. Now,
Street cred. You know, that's kind of like a pandering to black folk. It's almost the same thing as Hillary Clinton going on a Breakfast Club saying, you know, yeah, I got hot sauce in my bag.
Something that you always carry with you.
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce in my bag, swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I
yes.
just want you to know people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people.
And of course, you know, this gentleman here, you know, he's going to support Trump. I mean, hell, he got his sentence commuted. But it's kind of like the same thing. Just like last presidential election, you know, Joe Biden, he didn't really come to the people. What did he do? He went and gave Cardi B an interview. And it was like a joke. But, you know, Cardi B has a big fan base. So, you know, Donald Trump does the same thing. It's like a, you know, it's just a political tactic. It's a tactic to get the vote.
I can't figure it out. When you heard everyone calling Trump a racist for saying that, what was your response?
Well, my first observation is those individuals who were having a problem with Trump talking about his mugshots and things of this sort, they belong to a class of Black Americans who have become totally tone deaf to what's been going on with those of us on the bottom, the working class.
I can't agree with him more. You know, we call them the bourgeois Negroes. He's talking about the same people that Harriet Tubman spoke about when she said, I could have freed 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed 1,000 more if they only knew that they were slaves. See, the reality is these folks, they're experiencing the same thing that we're experiencing. It's just that they get a bigger paycheck. They get to, you know, socialize and hobnob around others. And they feel comfortable in that space until they one day get that wake up call. They always get it. But that's what we're looking at here.
Those of us who are justice impacted, they just have an entirely different perspective with regard to life and with regard to what's important. So that's why they don't get it, to be simple, to be plain.
You think about President Biden's precipitous drop among African Americans, especially African American men, places like Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, that could be the election. One of the things that I hear about when I talk to African American men is the idea of, what has Joe Biden done for me? I think you sort of alluded to this, that he's forgotten about me.
Good question. What has Joe Biden done for me? Well, I mean, Donald Trump really didn't do anything for me specifically anyway, but Donald Trump does things where he does things for the American people that Black people can extract from. What he does for America, we benefit in that also. The Democrats, on the other hand, you know, they do stuff like, you know, they make anti-hate bills for Asians, for the LGBTQIA community. You know, they do stuff specifically for them, but we've gotten nothing specifically for us. So that's the difference. We can benefit a little bit. And let's not forget, right? We're voting for the lesser evil. Which one are you going to pick? Are you going to pick Satan or you're going to pick Lucifer? Which one is it going to be? Which one of these devils can we get a little something out of? And in my opinion, that's Trump. And, you know, me personally, I listen to some of these politicians, and the way they talk about black men is very, very disrespectful. Let's look at this clip.
We've got some very popular African-American artists that are out here saying things like, oh, I got checks when Trump was in office. I want those checks again, not understanding that really came from Congress. So we've got a couple of things, the perception issue, and then we also have an issue as it relates to civics.
We don't have a misperception of anything. We got the checks, we cashed the checks, we spent the checks. Some of us put the checks in our account, some of us saved it, some of us gave it away as gifts. But we definitely got it. There's no misperception in that. And I think that, she's misperceiving that we're a little bit smarter than that. And, we are clear that when Trump was in office, we got those checks. Now Biden is in office. We're not getting no checks. We're not getting anything but inflation, high taxes, and an immigrant problem that we're all experiencing under Joe Biden.
President Trump, was the one who brought the First Step Act into law, signed it, changed your life. Does that play into people who are not just those who've been released from prison because of President Trump?
Again, I think that's just a political tactic. Biden goes to the celebrities, he picks different celebrities that he wants to put out there to represent black folk. And that's Trump's way of doing the same thing. He'll go release Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne has a big following. He I think he expunged Lil Wayne's criminal record. So, Lil Wayne is going to support Trump. It's in his best interest to do that. Kodak Black said, man, if Trump needed $1 million, I'd give him $1 million.
So if Trump right now, even though he probably don't need it, if he needed $1 million, would you give him $1 million?
Of course, nigga. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, because he wiped his record clean. And it's a good political tactic because they kind of believe it's kind of a Republican way of pandering to get the vote, but it's just a political tactic, and both sides do the same thing.
All of those things are major factors, of course, for me personally, but also you have to understand the number of people whom he aided with that act. Trump is winning our vote, black men's vote, because it's not just about the justice system. It's also about issues that we normally wouldn't be associated with or seem to be concerned, like this open border issue. We are very much aware of how this is ill affecting us, how it's going to affect our employment, our opportunities. I'm currently working with an organization now trying to push back on some of the ideas that Joe Biden has about allowing these same illegal immigrants to vote.
And you know what? That's another thing. The Democrat side, they're not really addressing any issues that black men relate to. They're just not. They're out of touch. Trump alone with the border issue, we're experiencing the influx of migrants. And, we have to, my taxes are high. And we don't get enough as a society anyway through our tax money. We get ripped off. Our money gets sent to fund wars, to make life comfortable for immigrants. And I don't have anything against immigrants. They're trying to survive. They're doing their thing. But why the hell should I have to pay for it? So that's a difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. We can relate to what the Republicans are offering. And again, I'm not really a Democrat or a Republican fan. I'm just looking at both sides, and I'm figuring out, again, which one of these devils can I get a little something for? But let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And, I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And let me know what you think in the comments.